Hi, today we're looking into an upcoming free-to-play shooter that is called Shadowline. I will share my first impressions, or you can call it good and bad if you want to. This game is currently in a playtest, so if you're interested to check out the game yourself, you can then follow the link in the description that leads to the Shadowline Steam page. Playtest this time around is taking place as we're speaking, and it's ending on Saturday, September 3rd. Shadowline is a fast-paced, free-to-play FPS with a roguelike co-op mode Expedition, as well as several traditional PvP modes such as TDM, Conquest, Plant the Bomb and Escort. You'll see me mainly playing Conquest and some Escort in this video, alongside with the PvE co-op mode. Shadowline is published by a small Ukrainian studio called Fraglab LLC, and is also published by the same. And it has to be said that the game is a quite generic hero shooter, and yes, me myself wasn't that interested in another kind of hero shooter, and maybe you feel the same. But before you turn off the video because of the words generic and hero shooter, let me put this out there straight away. When it comes to the overall good in this upcoming game, it was a long time ago since I played a game in a playtest or in beta about half a year before release that plays and performs as well as Shadowline does. And I'm including all titles in mine, not only free-to-play shooters. These guys at Fraglab LLC has managed to optimize the game really well, and are therefore ahead of their development cycle in many ways, in my opinion, which is unfortunately becoming more rare nowadays. If you ask me, the game could probably be released next week and it would most likely do well. I want to include some words here from the devs themselves, just to give you a hint how true passion and commitment can lead to something good. This is how they describe their Shadowline project and work with their own words. Building Shadowline has been our shared passion for 5 years, and building the Fraglab studio for even longer than that. Several months ago we lost our publisher, but we continued to work on Shadowline. We finished key game systems, fixed hundreds of bugs, polished the gunplay, and figured out how to publish our game to Steam. Now we come back to you, the community of players, to help us shape the future of Shadowline. There's more to add to this as well, such as an active community and the fact that they gather up Discord feedback weekly and in-game telemetry data, so they can discuss or debate what they believe what will improve the game and therefore what the next step will be. I think I don't even have to mention that all this is also being done during a time of war over there. Impressive. But is it then only sunshine in a game such as Shadowline, or the playtest? No, of course, there's still things to look into and to improve, although some of the things I'll mention also has to do with personal preferences and taste. But before we get into things that might be considered as cons, let's stay with the positives a bit longer. Besides an already nice and fast-paced almost arena shooting PvP experience, where players can choose from 8 unique operatives and an army of 25 weapons that can be customized via attachments, there's also a fun co-op PvE experience in the game that is definitely worth checking out with a friend or two. I also want to mention that you can play 6v6 in the PvP game modes, which I think is nice. It of course depends on the maps and game modes, but it feels a bit fresh almost to get away from the quite normal nowadays, which is 4v4 or 5v5. But what about the bad then, or the cons in the game? Well, I do think I would say that there's more room for improvement more than things actually being straight off bad in the game so far. First off, the progression is very slow in the game. There are 5 tiers when it comes to the weapons, and I do wish that they would, at least in the playtest, put it up quite a few notches, because I do believe both for the players right now and especially maybe also the studio, it would be nice if more players would access these weapons faster, so they get up to tier 5 faster and can therefore play test them also. I think everyone would benefit from that. When you get into the game, you're probably going to be used to this kind of slow progression, and it's nothing wrong with that, especially when the full game comes out. But I do think again for the playtest it would be a good thing. The time to kill is quite fast in this game. In my taste, I would like to slow it down a bit, and the reason why is if this would be like a tactical shooter, it kind of made more sense for me. I wouldn't even talk about it, to be honest. But here, as a fast-paced arena shooter, and you have to react when someone is shooting at you, I think it would be fair to just take it down a notch. Or, if they keep it like this, then they definitely also have to look into and adjust damage drop-off when it comes to SMGs and ARs. They are now dealing quite high damage at long distances, and that can cause an unbalance. You know, I mostly play as a sniper, and I'm grinding with the DMR in tier 1 and 2. I have to stick with that apparently, no bolt action. And it feels weird when you can be beamed with an SMG from a long distance. Again, I hope they look into this. Some of the maps feels a bit too big sometimes. Considering that it's a fast-paced shooter, this is not like a huge con for me, but maybe we'll see more variation here and straightforward maps in the full game later on. Well, as you can see, there's not so much, at least I have to say, that is on the negative side of things when it comes to the Shatterline playtest experience. As always, this will not be everyone's cup of tea, but the game has so far impressed me in many ways, and I'll continue to keep an eye on the development when it comes to this game. I also would like to hear from you if you're actually participating right now when it comes to the playtest of Shadowline. Let me know your experiences also in the comments. And if you're new to my channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you see when I upload similar content in the nearby future. And if you enjoyed the video, also give me a like, that helps me out in the YouTube algorithm. But with that said, thanks again for watching, and I hope you also take the opportunity to try out Shadowline. Have a beautiful day. Later.